Hey there, Saber friends. Welcome to Saber Talk. I'm SpaceWindu. This is the Star Wars mega show where we are going to talk about anything Star Wars and everything Star Wars, including lightsabers, which is the main draw of for myself and all my friends and stuff to Star Wars and to the Star Wars movies and shows. We love the lightsabers. We love the custom style lightsabers. Right now, I've got a super bright blade that we made over at Civilized Sabers inside this lightsaber. That's got over 600 LEDs in there. I call that the Pentastar. And that's just a prototype, though. I've got a Pentastar V2 that I'm building right now. So I'll probably post a video on Civilized Sabers YouTube when that blade is done. So you want to check out Civilized Sabers YouTube and subscribe there for those special tri-star blades, quad star blades, and pentastar blades that we make. I make a video for every single blade and post it over there on Civilized Sabers. So I'm also going to do a live stream in regards to like asking questions and answering questions about tri-stars, quad stars, dual stars, pentastars, which is that really new blade I'm working on. The V2 Pentastar is coming next. So anybody that have questions, I mean, you can ask them at any time. As always, you can come in here and ask questions. For Civilized Sabers channel, we thought we would like do a stream like dedicated to answering the questions about quad star, pentastar, tri-star. Like, what are those? What are the stats? Some people have questions about the LEDs. Some people have questions about how bright the colors are. I do have my light meter right here. It's like nearly on camera. I could probably get it on camera for that stream, and we could answer any questions about like what's brighter and if I have the blade on hand, that is. Actually, right now I don't have any tri-stars, but for that stream, I'll try to have a version of each blade if we could do that. We're planning on doing that stream with Harris. Harris will be on there. Maybe Jedi Arms Dealer will be on there. Hopefully we can get Gabe on there, and we're going to talk about those blades, answering any questions that you have about that stuff. So let's bring in the first guest for tonight. And it's Mundo.
What up? What up?
What is going on, Mundo?
Doing all right, man. How about yourself?
Happy 4th. Doing
Happy
really
4th,
well.
buddy.
In my area, it is 9 something right now. Oh no, it's 10:20 right now. But the fireworks are still being let off outside. I don't know if we froze there.
I know, mine too. So you probably, I froze for a second. So I'm in the garage again, as you can see, because the oops, hold on, sorry, my speaker I didn't take it off of. Ugh. Got this big old speaker right here.
I think we froze again, or maybe Mundo froze. Yeah, I'm trying to broadcast tonight.
Hang
And
on.
you know what it might be,
Technical
Mundo? I'm trying for the first time to broadcast in 1080, so I don't know if that's affecting things. But we're trying it out tonight to go a little bit higher quality in the video feed. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
but the
see
video looks amazing, man.
Looks,
the video
hopefully
looks
looks better today. So I was like disappointed
Oh,
with the quality lately, and I was thinking like, why don't we upgrade to 1080 so that
what were you running, 720?
Well, I think like that was the maximum, but then I checked like the definition on YouTube and it said standard definition for last night's show. So I was like, that's not good. So
Yeah.
I think if we did 1080, maybe we have a chance of being 720, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
there's a range there that it's going to be.
Well, I can tell you, it looks amazing right now, man. The picture is just like unbelievable.
Oh, good. All right. Hopefully we don't freeze too much.
Yeah, hopefully, by the grace of God. Let's see.
Yeah, well, anybody that drops in tonight can maybe let us know if things are looking good and sounded good. And in the meantime, I'll just continue on, see what happens. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the KENOBI show tonight. And I thought of a couple more things that I think you might like. So I was going to tell you, I was like, oh, maybe Mundo will get excited about these ideas. Maybe.
Oh, I always get excited.
Maybe if they thought about like this for season 2. I was thinking of a couple different things, because you know how there's like experts out there that know the differences between like Darth Vader's suits. Like he's got the control box and people could look at it and say, oh, that's from the, episode 5, or that's from episode 6. Like, cause I could tell because of the control box. Now I'm not one of those people, or they could tell because of the lightsaber, like, oh, that's his episode 4 lightsaber because of the grips. I mean, I don't know those differences, you know? But my take on it was that I know like the props always changed for the suit, for the Darth Vader suit. So that's kind of why, like, it was maybe 2 or 3 years later, right, that they're making the next movie. So I guess things changed about the helmet even. You remember how like the helmet was like shinier and it had different like points to it in the 5th movie, I think it was, but in the fourth episode, the helmet was like a different shape and stuff. Like people could point that out. Like, and like I said, I'm not the one to point out those differences. I don't know, but I was kind of gonna take an idea from that, and the fact that in the OBI WAN show, you know how they keep repeating the lines from the movies. So, you know, Palpatine at the end of the finale says a similar line to what he says to Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi. You know, he's like, are you sure your feelings are clear? And then all throughout Kenobi, you know, they kind of repeat lines. Like at the very end, you know, he's like, hello there, you know, so it's like always like repeating these lines. So I'm taking an idea from that as well. And I'm thinking, why can't we repeat like a little bit of, if we can repeat the lines, can we repeat like the action scenes as well? So I want to like talk about that a little bit. I see our buddy Harris has joined us, and maybe things have stabilized because I don't see anybody freezing right now. So let's see what happens when we bring in our civilized sabers pal Harris.
I have something here for you. It's the weapon of a Jedi.
Then I am a Jedi.
There he is. Oh, he's a Force ghost. Harris is a Force ghost. Oh, there he is.
Damn!
That's an
That's
effect,
cool
I
as
guess,
shit.
because is it because it's green? You had a green lightsaber.
Yeah, the green
so
screen.
The green screen is like wigging out, and it looks like you're a Force ghost. A Force ghost of like a KISS band member.
I think the Sabers messing with the green screen thing.
Well, I just hope someone's flying that spaceship of yours.
Just me. Hang on.
Tim McAndrew is here. What's going on, buddy? He says, happy 4th. How's it going? It's going
Hey,
really
Tim.
well. Happy 4th to you as well. Hope
Happy
you're enjoying the 4th over there in
Yo. What's up, boys?
JT Lovecraft says, someone save Hesh. I think it might be too late. He was a Force ghost. I don't know. We were a little too late for him. Oh, no. Now he's back in his living room. He's all right now. He's all right.
I was out there in the galaxy flying around.
I think we caught you like it's like as if you were Q from Star Trek. You could like appear in different places. Felicia Marie is here. What's going on, Felicia? She says, cool.
What up, Felicia? What up?
Yo, yo. I'm messing with sunflower seeds tonight.
I was eating peanuts before. So I was talking about Kenobi. I was talking about some of the things that they already kind of do in the show and how they repeat, some of the lines from like the movies, and Kenobi will say the line or Palpatine will say a similar line. And I was like wondering if we could maybe in series 2, Kenobi series 2, if like they would kind of have these cyclical repeats of the fights as well, because the one in particular I kind of want to talk about is episode 3, OBI WAN versus General Grievous, right? You remember how Anakin really wanted to be the one to go up against General Grievous over there in Utapau, and he thought he should go. And I don't know if that's because he really thought that, or it's because Palpatine kind of told him that he should be the one to go to Utapau. But it kind of got me thinking about Grievous. It got me thinking about Grievous. The fact that Grievous is kind of like a machine mixed with organic, so it's kind of like Darth Vader in a little bit. Also, he's like a pawn of Palpatine, so that's another reason why I start thinking that he's kind of like Darth Vader. He's like a precursor to Darth Vader. Now I don't know General Grievous's like backstory, so maybe someone out there like read a book about him or knows like about his race, how he got in that robot suit. But I was thinking about General Grievous's arms and how he had so many lightsabers, and his feet. You remember his feet were like sharp, and they had
Claws.
Yeah,
like
like claws. Like claws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and he could do like crazy things, and because he could spin around and backwards.
His arms
Remember?
could split.
He could kind of turn backwards because he was mostly machine and go that way if he wanted to and stuff. So
Yeah.
it got me thinking about like what could be done with Darth Vader like in the intermediary between now and episode 4. So like where they kind of dropped us off in the Kenobi show was they said there's 9 more years left, So I wonder, like this could have been an idea like that they did in Kenobi season 1 rather than what we saw, or it could be something that could happen later, I think as well, which is to say that the Darth Vader we see in episode 4, and Harris, I kind of said this before you came on about the differences in the costume and the lightsaber. Some people can point out, oh, that's an episode 6 Darth Vader versus an episode 4 Darth Vader. Or some people know that the control box has different like lights on it or something, and the helmet is even different, right? It's got different shapes to it in different movies, and it's because the costume, I guess, changed in the intervening years in between when the movies were made. And even when you first see Darth Vader in episode 3 kind of walk out of the Frankenstein contraption that he's in when they first built him, he was in a similar looking Darth Vader suit. But I think like what if some of these General Grievous aspects, now also think about like the inquisitorial lightsaber and how it spins. Like it's kind of taken that General Grievous idea with the spinning lightsabers to the next level. And then we saw in like Rebels how they were even using it as a helicopter, right? So I was thinking, now the way Darth Vader deals with Reva, it's like he doesn't even really have to deal with her lightsaber. He's kind of like kung fuing her lightsaber away, you know. But between Kenobi and Darth Vader, they kind of have to use their lightsabers, it seemed, or they were throwing rocks, or they were doing things like that. So I was thinking, what if the next time we see Darth Vader, he's got some of these like upgrades. Now the upgrades will have been taken off or will have been dismantled by the time episode 4 comes around. But what if at one point he's got like General Grievous style feet, like the boots open up because they're robot legs, right? So he got them replaced with like claw type feet that could clamp down, you know, as he walks. The arms could maybe split. Maybe he's got inquisitorial lightsabers, like 4 of them. You know, and he's like raging toward Kenobi. Maybe the mask is even different. It's angled like a race car, you know? And he's just like, and we could have almost a repeat, because don't forget they're repeating some of the lines. So why not repeat some of the fights almost? Now, remember when General Grievous is swinging them sabers and Obi Wan kind of slips his saber in and is able to dismantle the wrists and take off, you know? So it opens it up for like Obi Wan to actually take off Darth Vader's limbs again, but like in a different way, you know.
Well, didn't Darth Maul get a few upgrades?
That's what I was thinking too. Like with the
legs.
He
did. He got the spider legs, man.
And then at one point we saw.
At one point, he had like octopus legs.
Yeah, and then
later on, he got real legs, or not real legs, 2 legs.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was thinking they've been playing with that idea before of like how the character can you know change their look, change their body if they have robotic parts. And I just thought that would be maybe some kind of cool thing to do with Darth Vader. And basically story-wise, how you'd kind of have to take it is that by episode 4, like Darth Vader is shown through the fact that Obi-Wan can dismantle him, that it's just not necessary. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to go there anymore.
Let me interject something, man. Remember the time that we're in, okay? We're in a galaxy far, far away. We're not in the human galaxy. And think about, go back last year to The Mandalorian. The first season of The Mandalorian, you know, we saw the younger kids. It was cool to go to the upgrade store and have parts added to you, right? So, I mean, who's to say that in 6 years down the line, that robot eye that you had is a little obsolete, and we're going to pop out the module and pop in a new module that's now just a camera and a video camera. It's an upgrade.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like I was also thinking a lot about that line from episode 4, and I was even thinking it could be like overlaid in the Obi-Wan show if they wanted to, almost like a callback to the future, if you will, or like foreshadowing, where when he says he's more machine now than man.
Well, and didn't they say that in I forget where I heard that. I heard that tagline before. He's more,
you know, like it's what Obi-Wan says in episode 4 as an old man, as Alec Guinness, but I'm thinking they could overlay that phrase, and the fact that he's more machine now than man. Like I think if you heard that and they had this scene where he was a real monster, a real machine monster, kind of like Grievous, coming toward, you know, devastating a town or whatever, and Obi-Wan has to stop him, is that I think that would give a lot of meaning to that phrase too, like more machine now than man, even more so than we already have, because because he could almost have different attachments. You know, he could be more machine.
Well, yeah, like I mean, what'd be kind of cool though is if you see the rotating wrist for Vader. So like somebody's coming up behind him, right, or the attack is coming from behind him. You know, he can't twist and turn around fast enough, but his wrist can come like this, and the blade is coming behind him with his wrist going
Yeah,
like this.
good.
You know, so
Why
he's
not,
able.
right?
So yeah, he's able to avoid the attack with the wrist from behind. You see. Yeah. And then when they come back around, that wrist just comes right back straight to where it was. And here he is, you know. So he's able, and of course of his arms, well, we know that in episode 4, Luke hits him in the arm and he's just so we know that one of his arms was kind of like, you know, not
Fully metal.
fully metal. Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
Good name
it
for a
hurt him.
band.
Yeah.
Not
It's a good
fully
name
metal.
for a band. Fully metal.
Fully metal, but still be able to feel.
Fully metal. Nah, 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 nah. Sorry. I thought it was a good name for a band.
It was heavy. Oh, Darth Vader's heavy metal, man.
Tim McAndrew says, I was thinking about drunken lightsaber style, like Jackie Chan.
Ooh, my
I
man's got
love
my
the style.
attention.
That's so entertaining to watch. Yeah, like if we met
Oh
some
my
kind
God.
of maybe an almost Jedi, like you remember how they met a couple almost Jedi in Rogue One. You had I don't remember their names, but those guys that were with the talking about the Kyber crystal. The one guy had the big machine gun, and you had Ip Man as the other guy. That would be pretty sweet.
That would be so badass.
Kind of hiding their hiding their like Jedi abilities behind like a drunken system of martial arts. That'd
Yeah.
be sweet.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Chuck says, has anyone seen the Star Wars SC-38 reimagined Obi versus Vader fight? Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
faster one, the sped up one.
Yeah, where they're doing all the cool moves, and Obi Wan is like dodging Vader's attacks, and they're kind of running around the room even.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen that one. Pretty cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you know what that brings to mind
Yeah.
a power, because they almost go there in that scene SC-38 where they only did it once. I mean, I know we've talked about this maybe once or twice on the show, but I brought it up to my friend when we were watching Obi-Wan finale, and I was like, let's see if they bring this power back, because do you remember Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan like running away from the droidicas like in episode 1, like so fast like the Flash?
Yeah.
Are we ever gonna see that power ever again? Like that is
Not about that.
canon.
Until you just mentioned it.
That
I
is
don't
in
think so.
episode 1,
Yeah.
and there's a couple times it could have helped,
Ooh,
right?
Like lightning, they take off.
They took off, and there's a couple times that could have helped, and I'm like, come on, Obi-Wan, like, do you remember that you could run as fast as the Flash, like for a couple seconds? I mean, that might help.
Yeah.
It's in some scenario. Maybe Vader can't do that anymore because he has robot legs.
How about their
Well, now that
underwater
he's got the-
abilities to
right.
swim?
Well, they
That'll
had the
be-
rebreather. They had
Well,
that thing
yeah,
in there.
But they're like underwater. They make it like it's like 200 foot underwater.
Obi-Wan did that in this show. What was it, like episode 1 or 2? He was like diving underwater, like with the
Mhm.
rebreather, I think.
That was episode 1, I believe, where they were going into the Gungan city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
no, I
then
mean
then-
in the Obi-Wan TV show, he was also swimming underwater.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
think it was.
yeah.
it
He
was
went down to
part
the
1 or part
base.
2.
Swam down to the base. I mean, that's,
Yeah,
that seems like it's like 10,000 foot underwater. Like that's like the extreme of how deep. And I don't think anybody could swim that far down underwater.
like the pressure. Like I went like 8 feet
Right.
down in
Yeah.
the pool.
I mean, they only
and,
got a
like, my
little
ears
thing in their
hurt.
mouth. What does that do? Does that like give them a pressure bubble that they're able to swim in?
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's
That would be the only way.
Collapsing. Tim
Are you
McAndrew
guys able to
asks,
make a
are you guys able to make a 3/4 inch blade? I am. I have some 3/4 inch blade stock, and I'm kind of just waiting for the opportunity to make a 3/4 inch blade. I think it would basically have to be a dual star, which means two strips of skinny strips in there. But I think it could happen. I've got the supplies for that. Chuck Alvarado says exactly. Luke did the same thing in Empire Strikes Back. He ran fast in Empire. I don't remember that. But I mean, I want to see these Jedi run fast more often because like that's a cool power. Like because they are moving fast, right? Like I think we talked once before about what if there was a fight between these Jedi, like in the Obi WAN show or in one of these shows where like when we're watching it, we see the fight, but maybe we see it from the perspective of a character that's looking at the fight, and we see that it's like unrecognizable. Maybe it looks like a blur. It looks like their lightsaber, like they're going so fast because they're moving in that like Matrix style speed. That would be pretty cool.
Well, like Chuck says that, you know, he escaped the carbon freeze jumping out. So.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. That's true. That's true. That was like a super speed force jump. That was a nice jump. That was probably the introduction of the power.
Mm-hmm.
Tim McAndrews said, my Yoda saber blade from CC Sabers snapped in half. Now, is that a NeoPixel? Are you asking for a NeoPixel? Because that's what I was thinking that you were asking about NeoPixel, but maybe you mean just a regular blade. I don't know. Yeah, I mean either way, it could be done. It could be done.
And you guys, not to get off the saber thing, you guys following along on The Boys?
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I was staying up and watching at like midnight when on Thursday nights it launches, or it, you know, I guess it's Friday. Friday they released a show. So on Thursday night I stay up and I was watching at midnight, and like I was just in all my glory watching. I was loving it.
I love it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Man, I haven't even. I'm just barely getting to. I think like almost the end of season 1. And,
I'll tell you what I remember from like the last 2 episodes, without spoiling anything, Mundo, is that the past 2 episodes, the one before last was like action, and it was awesome. Mm-hmm. It was so satisfying, like what was happening. And then in the previous episode, last week's episode, they dropped like a talking bomb. Like they just said something at the end that you're like, oh, holy shit. Like, right, Harris? Like it wasn't
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see that coming, although I probably should have.
I didn't see it coming either. And it sounded like something that we should have already kind of guessed, right? But
right.
I was caught. I was like,
right?
whoa, that's a bombshell.
I was laughing my ass, literally laughing my ass off, because I know that this, no pun intended, but when they blew up the invisible dude, you know, I couldn't stop laughing at all. I was laughing so hard it was crying, man. They shoved that bomb up his ass, and he's all like,
"Did you see the funeral for him yet?"
But no, I haven't got there yet.
I think it's like season 2 starts with.
They have a glass.
It's just a glass.
In it.
Yeah, it's a glass casket,
really?
But it's just like clear.
Nobody in it.
Nobody's there.
That is funny. That is funny. Even
though they actually have his remains, like they end up obtaining his remains, but they don't put it on display.
They
just pretend like you can't see him still.
Hey, can I talk about a quick saber upgrade I did today?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Saber Talk, right? So one of the things I like to talk about on Saber Talk is little things that you can do to upgrade for cheap. You know, that doesn't cost anything. Could be anything. Could be adding a strip of aluminum tape to something that just accents it, whatever. So today, you know, I've been messing with my Luke Hero, right? And I don't know if you guys can see it, But when this box comes from TCSS, the arrows are clear. And I found a way to color the arrows. I don't know if you can say it.
I can see that they're colored. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red
Yeah.
and they're green.
I can see them.
So you don't want to lose
Yeah.
the clearness because we're going to put LEDs behind it. But when they come brand new, they come clear. So what to do? What's the dilemma? So I thought about paint, and I know you can get like for like maybe testers at model shops where they make like paint for turn signals on cars in red, yellow, and stuff like that. I don't know if they make green, but I thought about that. And then I had I had like a brain fart. You ready for this? Red Sharpie on the clear part.
On the outside or the inside?
On the outside of it. And if you want, it doesn't come off. Like I lick my finger and I rub it and it doesn't come off. It stays on. It's permanent. I guess if you hit it with some alcohol, it might come off. So it's not 100% permanent. If you decide you don't want it, you can take it off. But cheap little, and you know, they make, there you go. I did the red and the green arrows today. So
It looked good from what I could tell.
Yeah, they look good. When they're backlit
Right?
and they're nice, they stick out a little bit. So that's something interesting. Like I've seen a lot of people use like a Sharpie, you know, on the metal, it comes off right away, right? Like we sometimes draw on the piece with a Sharpie. And if you don't like it, you can, you know, a little alcohol and a rag will take it right off.
Like that's how I kind of plan out the build is I draw on the metal with a Sharpie, like where I'm going to cut or where I'm going to sand or something, because it just comes off so easily. But on the plastic, I guess it sticks.
Well, it's sticking, but I think if I was to, like, let's say I got a Q-tip and I dunk a Q-tip in a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and touch it, it'll probably go back to clear again, you know? But I like it, you know, like for me, I always see that model saber have the red and the green arrows, even when they're not lit. Yeah, that's just so good. Nice. Yeah.
What's going on? Jeremy from Solo Sabers is here. How are you tonight?
Hey, Jeremy.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
Tim McAndrew says Shout Factory has begun to release old Japanese Power Ranger DVDs again with Chick Yu Sentai 5-Man. I don't know what that is. Is that like original Power Rangers?
Shikyu Sentai.
Sentai 5-Man. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it says Anime Expo all this weekend was amazing.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had read about. I had seen it on my Facebook stuff too. That the anime expo was coming pretty close. I didn't know if it was this weekend or the next weekend, but either way, I'd have to wait. Saving up for my sabers, other saber stuff. So the expos are gonna have to wait.
I went to one with Harris a few years ago. We had a good time.
Ended up go again.
Yeah, like there's some cool stuff there. There's like people selling like weapons, like legit like swords and stuff, Mundo. There's you know, people selling t-shirts. I got a leather bound like blank journal. You know, it's like for art, you know, it's got like nice drawing paper in it, blank. No lines in that. That was nice. I got one. What else did I get there? Like, I think we got a couple rings, didn't we, Harris? It's like a Green Lantern ring or two. We got, yeah, some other like handmade stuff. Like, I think I got a wristband that was like made of leather and that had a Jedi symbol on it or something. So they got some cool stuff.
I think my favorite part of the cons is the cosplayers that walk around. You know?
Yeah. I like the handmade stuff. Like, I think that's so cool. Like,
amazing.
You know, to get to see the creator, and like there was a few stands we walked up to that like the comic book creator was there. You know, like kind of touting their comics. So at some point, like I hope to do that with mine. Tim McAndrew says old 80s Japanese tokusatsu shows like Gavin, Bioman, Flashman, and Just Beyond use lightsabers. Oh, yeah, because they probably don't care about they don't care about the copyright or anything. They just like have lightsabers. They call them laser swords, probably.
You think George is going to track him down over to Japan? Try and find them and go after them and try and.
It's out of his hands.
Yeah, I don't think like. I heard a story in Automobile Magazine once that like China was taking. This was about 10 or 15 years ago when I used to really read the automobile magazines all the time, and they were taking. China was taking like a BMW 5 Series and an X5, right? And they just flat out copied it. So like they took a 5 Series and they called it like a Cherry 5 or whatever, and they took the X5 and they made it an exact thing, and they charged like 30,000 instead of like 74,000, for it over in China. And BMW sued them. I said like it's the exact same vehicle, but I think like 2 years later when they just couldn't do anything about it. It's like they had already sold like 30,000 fake BMWs. It's like, what are you going to do? It's like an international lawsuit. Like nothing can happen.
I have a guitar in my collection from 1976. It's an Ibanez from Japan, but it's an exact copy of a Gibson Les Paul, which is about a $4,000 or $5,000 guitar, depending upon the model. And they say that now I'm not a guitar player. I bought it off somebody. I have a few guitars that I like to keep. And this was a piece I didn't want to turn down. And the price was amazing. But they got sued. Ibanez got sued by Gibson. And Ibanez had to get Gibson did a cease and desist on them. It means you're not allowed to make any more. So they're rare pieces. They were only out for 2 years. And I have one of those in my collection. So that, sometimes that kind of stuff goes up in value,
I guess it could. Mm-hmm. It works a lot better when the lawsuit's like within the country. Like if it's like American companies, you can do something about it. If it's like international, it's really hard. Tim McAndrew says, I'm actually learning to play guitar for cosplay. Awesome. What are you going to be, like the bard from The Witcher or something? That's awesome. That's the only one I could think of.
That would be cool, man.
That's only like guitar player.
That bard that was funny. That was
I like
fun.
that show.
The bard was fun. Yeah, The Witcher was good, man. Henry Cavill played a hell of a part, man.
I mean, they should have given him more in that season too. I liked it though.
They should have, but I don't think I think he didn't want to do the show anymore. Or it's either one that he didn't want to do the show, or he didn't want. He was having conflicts with other projects, and it was going to cost him more than he would have liked if he stayed with Witcher. But I think he would have been, fine if he'd stayed with Witcher. But
I don't know if they're doing like a season 3. For the Witcher, but in season 2 he seemed to be like less of the main character.
Yeah, no, from what I heard, they are gonna make a season 3, but Henry Cavill's really not gonna be the Witcher.
Oh,
they're gonna focus on a new Witcher in season 3, from what I'm understanding.
Tim McAndrew says the cosplay is Android Kikaider. Again, I'm not familiar with a lot of anime stuff. If that's anime, I got to get more familiar. I know those shows are really good, and they got lightsabers, so you can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong with lightsabers.
No, Can't go wrong. Not at all.
I want to get to watching that. I want to check out that Stranger Things that was released a couple days ago. I was caught up, and then they released the some more episodes, I think. So I want to check those out.
Did they?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it.
Almost,
What'd you say, Mundo?
I was almost caught up on it.
Then they released more episodes for you.
Believe it or
Yeah.
not, I actually binged watched the first 3 seasons this weekend.
Oh yeah, you were telling me that. So did you get to the latest season?
I just started the first episode, 4th season, and I don't know. It's kind of I might be played out of it. I spent Friday night all day Saturday, Saturday night, Sunday all day Sunday night, and most of the day today. I left today. I went to the supermarket around 4 o'clock, and I came back and I put it on, and it just when I put it back on, I'm like, all right, I had enough of these kids already. You know?
when I turned on season 4,
how many times can the same fucking zombie keep coming back and get you? You know?
Yeah. Also, like I don't know. Like when I saw the season 4 first episode, I was like, man, these kids are getting ugly. That was my first thought.
They're getting zits. They're going through puberty, man.
Yep.
It's like
No more puppy love.
Kids and they're awkward.
Yeah, no more puppy love. You ain't screwed, blued, and tattooed, boy. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I like the show. It's a cool show. Just after 3 seasons all weekend long, I think I had enough. I think I got to come back. I don't know. I'll see. Maybe I'll put on 1 episode before I go to bed tonight.
Do they make Star Wars references in the show? I forgot. Do they make?
Yes, they did.
Tons.
Oh yeah, they did.
Tons. They kept in one scene they were referring to Han's not Han Solo. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Billy D. Williams.
Lando.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
I had
Lando.
brain fart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were referring to Lando. They're like, the guy's like a traitor. Like, do you trust him? But he's a friend. And they're like, Lando Calrissian, Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny.
Oh, that is funny.
I mean, maybe you guys know. I mean, what is the next due out? Are we done for a while with Star Wars on Disney? Are we getting anything new coming up soon?
Well, did you guys hear that announcement with like that Stranger Things girl? Like, is that true? Where like the Stranger Things girl is going to be Leia in a new Leia show? She's gonna be like a teenage Leia.
Which Leia? Which girl?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
You know the girl in Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown? She's like the main girl in Stranger Things. She's supposed to be Leia in a Leia show.
I did not hear that.
And I don't know how soon that's going to be. Like, is that next year or what? I think it was just announced. So I don't know too much about it at all.
Yeah, she's like, I actually, after, sometimes watching a series like that, while I'm watching, I'll do a little Google search on the actor just to see their history. She's 18. They broke her stones for a while, I guess, some dumb shit, but she held through, and I guess I don't know. What do you think? You think it looks good, Ann, or you think that's a good thing?
Well, I didn't like see anything. I just heard, and from the look of the girl, like I think she looks like Leia. So I don't know. Like what? I guess they could do something like, let's say it's like the months leading up to episode 4. Yeah. I could totally see like a lot of action happening in that time frame, right? Like she's rushing around
age.
in the rebellion.
That age too. She's that age. She's 18, that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Titan Gray is here. What's going on, buddy? He says, hey, everyone.
Up,
Happy July 4th. I just finished season 2 of The Umbrella Academy. It is bizarre. Yeah, I think I watched that as well. They're up to season 3 now they just released. So I watched the season 1 and 2 of that as well. I liked it because like I took it as like kind of like an X-Men thing, and like X-Men was like my favorite comic book growing up. So I saw Umbrella Academy as kind of like a weird and twisted, maybe like slightly depowered X-Men type of thing, or like New Mutants. So I liked it. I thought it's good. Like the things they do with time. I always love that. Like that's my favorite thing in Terminator, time traveling. That's my favorite thing in like in Back to the Future. The aspect of time traveling is just so interesting. So like the way they do it in the Umbrella Academy is pretty cool. With like the main character can time travel, and he eventually sees himself as like an older dude as well, or he becomes older, whatever. And it's just it is bizarre for sure. It's crazy. Felicia Marie says, I was scrolling and saw Samuel L. Jackson wants to make a comeback. So maybe there's a lot you could do there, because you could even go back to like pre-Anakin and do something with the Jedi. You could do something with the Jedi, like, before or during the time of episode 1, if you wanted to. If you could bring Samuel L. Jackson back, you could even do scenes with like Liam Neeson.
Where he's falling.
Yeah, where it's like,
we'll get to see the scene where he's falling from the window, and what happens, whether he lived or died. I mean, of course, we think he lived, but if he lived, and then they cut to the scenes where he's falling, but he finds a way to, I mean, he's using the Force, right? He can use the Force to levitate himself, or at least get close to where he can grab something and keep him from falling all the way down. Just like Leia pulled herself from space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that's what they may do.
Because like OBI WAN did it in episode 2. Remember, he kind of had a rope with him, and he threw the rope. He was falling on Kamino, and he threw the rope. Was it his rope or Boba Fett's? I think maybe he took it from Boba Fett or Jango Fett.
No, Jango Fett, because Jango Fett cut it. Remember, he was holding on to the thing, and then when Boba cut it, he cut it. No, Jango, sorry. When Jango cut it so that he wouldn't be pulled off, because remember, he had the blade stuck to the to wherever he was sliding down from. So his knife stopped him from sliding down from the rest of the way. So once he got that, but then he had the pressure from Obi-Wan hanging on that rope, and the only way that he wouldn't be able to fall out. So he cut it. And then Obi-Wan kind of felt that he had already cut it, and he was already swinging this way, back and forth. So when Jango cut it, and he was already on the, way going forward, that gave him the momentum to get to the doors and get inside and then go back up.
Yeah, I would think like on Coruscant, there would be an opportunity because of the high buildings that he could have landed on a balcony. I mean, everyone seems to kind of live. Like, remember in the end of the Obi-Wan show, people were worried about the Inquisitor because they were saying, well, the Inquisitor shows up in Rebels and that happens later. And they did fulfill that, right? Remember, the Inquisitor did live. So a lot of people seem to live with these like stabbings and stuff. And the only thing that really happened to Mace was that he was shocked and his hand was cut off. So we've seen people survive like way worse than that. So I guess he could have a rope with him, have a grappling hook. I mean,
or he used the fish.
It'd be smart to have a grappling hook or something. Or, somebody could catch him, or he could fall into someone's car.
And the Jedi.
Like imagine he falls in a Bail Organa. He falls in a Bail Organa's car.
No, that would be funny. That would be really funny.
Or he falls into the guy's car that yells Jedi Poodoo.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I don't think he has a name though. He's just like a passerby. Remember, he goes Jedi Poodoo, and he's passing by in his car.
Yeah, he's the
Tim
same
McAndrew
species
says,
as that
Tim McAndrew says, has anyone seen that fan film Corridor made about realistic lightsaber fights. No, haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out. I'm gonna write it down.
I probably have. I probably need to relook at it because I like watching a lot of these fan-made films.
Oh, I love them. I think they're like got some interesting stuff in them all the time.
Yeah, and there's some not so great ones. I mean, but God bless them. Even if they're not so great, it's the fact that they perform and they do these skits, and I mean, just for the pure love of Star Wars, and you can tell. I mean, it's coming from their heart that they do these skits. I mean, they're cool.
And like
cool.
the way special effects have kind of gotten like doable by regular people. Like how you can get like a program and your computer could like do a special effect in a movie. Like I guess like I don't know, I don't use it, but like Final Cut Pro I think could do things, and like there's other apps and things for like special effects. So the fact that it actually has come cheaper for you to do like a space scene, or for you to do a spaceship like exterior shot of like zooming by a planet, like things like that are possible without a team of people. So some of these fan films, there's not like that many people involved, but it's pretty impressive. It's like you could do a lot with a little these days.
Do you okay, this is funny to me, and I don't know if you guys do this too or not, but when you're watching these fan made films, do you look at their sabers and say, oh, okay, that is an Ultra Sabers, that is a Saber Forge?
Yeah, I do.
That is
Of course you do.
I do.
I've seen so many Ultra Sabers on a lot of these fan films, right? But you can really tell on some of these that some of them were TCSS, some of them were actually I think there was a few that I saw that were Vader's fault, and there was a few that were let's see, what was some other ones that I'd seen. I know quite a few of them were there were some Saber Forge ones too. And then there were some ones that just have like you could tell they were hardware store made sabers.
Oh
right?
yeah,
A lot of them.
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
That's like some of the original films that I got familiar with. Like Tim McAndrew says here, Ryan versus Dorkman was one of the first ones that I caught wind of, and I later became friends with Brandon when you got to Ryan versus Brandon and Ryan versus Brandon 2. I love those films because I'm friends with Brandon, and we made him we're actually making Brandon a couple lightsabers right now for some fan films that he's going to be making. And in Brandon's last film, Brandon Flight's last fan film, he actually used my sabers in those like the saber I gave him in that film. And he said he didn't have to really use any special effects because the blade was like bright enough to just look like a regular lightsaber blade. You know how it is. Tim McAndrew says, "Wow, no way!" Awesome. Yeah. Those were some of the first ones that I saw. Like Ryan versus Dorkman. Many years ago, and then I watched how they made it. Right, they had like the making of, and they would show you how they used the carbon fiber bladed hilts, and they could really whack them against each other. And Ryan actually sells those hilts with the dualable carbon fiber blades, and then they put the effect in afterwards. That's how they used to do it back then. Yeah,
they're like 10 years old now, maybe more.
I think more, right? Yeah. Like, I've been watching
12,
them since
13. I don't think they're 15.
Since like early YouTube, right? YouTube.
Yeah. I don't remember which one it was. I think I had sent one of those fan films to you, Space, if I'm not mistaken, was about this girl who was a Padawan, and she ended up getting a little ahead of herself because her master was saying, hey, you need to not take it so fast, not be such in a rush to do this. The lightsaber will come when it comes. Don't get in a rush. Well, he falls asleep, and of course you can tell this one was an old you know, lightsaber. But so she goes into the cave and she looks behind her, knowing that her her master is still asleep, and she ignites the saber and she swings it around a little bit, and she's like hearing something, right? And then you got all these things, I guess bats or whatever, that would come out of the cave, and she blinds herself. She basically burns her eyes out
I think I
across
remember this one.
with the blade. So later on, the master teaches her more while she can't see. When we see her training, she is training with a blindfold on at first when it starts, and then later on, after her master was killed, then you see her in the woods and she's putting her saber together after, I guess, after she cleaned it or whatever, and then she starts putting it back together with her mind. And then you have all these Sith that are coming around to attack her, and then it cuts right as she's ignites her saber, and that's
I
where
think I
it
remember
leaves
that
off.
one. Yeah.
That one, I think that one was like a really good one. And then there was a French one. I don't remember the name of the French one, but that one was really good as well.
They had a
And
decent Obi Wan one a few years back, didn't they? It was like the show where like Obi Wan's on Tatooine. He's watching over Luke. They had it. They had one a few years ago that was kind of good. Yeah, Tim, I don't think I've seen that one, but I wrote it down. 9 in the morning. Sounds a little familiar. You say the three guys with the lightsabers. Travis Bowles. No, I don't know. I'll have to watch that one. I'll have to watch that one. There are so many cool fan films for Star Wars.
I think
I wish I had the time to make them. They look so cool.
right. I think I downloaded a few of them to.
Have you guys ever seen that
watch.
funny series? And I believe it was on YouTube also, where Darth Vader like runs a convenience store.
No.
I'm gonna have to find it. I forget what it was called.
If you find it, send it to me. I gotta see that.
Darth
That'd
Vader
be-
runs a convenience store. It's like people come in and are like, can you tell me where the milk is? And he's like, I'll tell you where the milk is. Like, it's like talking as Vader talking.
It sounds familiar to me. I've seen so many over the years. So I've been like,
The name of it just popped in my head. Chad Vader.
yes.
Chad Vader.
CHAD. Chad Vader.
Those were also like early YouTube, I think.
Old stuff.
I gotta watch
So
that
fun.
one then, because that would be kind of like Jay and Silent Bob meets Star Wars.
Very, very funny, Mundo.
And they
Funny,
did
funny
kind of
stuff.
something like that with Kylo Ren on Saturday Night Live, didn't they? Where like Kylo Ren was working in an office job or something.
Something
That
like
was Undercover Boss. And Kylo Ren was the undercover boss. And everybody was like working on the Death Star.
Yeah, that
They were all
sounds
like
similar.
shitty employees. And he's dressed up. He's not supposed to be Kylo Ren. He's got like a disguise on, like he's a janitor or something like that. But he's
Oh my
really
god,
Kylo
I
Ren.
gotta see that. I gotta see that one. Troopers from College Humor and Vader is
I never saw that one.
Dreadlord Sinister XD. I never saw that either. Wow. That is too
Fun stuff.
funny. Too funny. What is it? I think what is it? Fanboys, where they you got these group of friends that go. One is supposedly dying of cancer or something, and they go and they try to go to the Lucas Ranch so that they can go watch Star Wars, the new. I don't know if it was the New Hope or Empire or something like that. I think it's Empire, and they go on this big ass adventure just to get there, and they break into Lucas's office and everything like that. And he they end up getting caught, but they end up actually getting to see the movie. Well, the one that's past the one that's dying gets to see it, you know. And it's cool. If nobody has seen Man Boys, then yeah, you got to watch that
I
one.
don't think I've
I
seen
think
it.
I've seen that. I think I've seen that.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I don't think so. I've heard of it.
Uh,
I've heard of it. Haven't seen it.
Oh, dude, no, you got okay. You got homework, dude. You got
I
homework.
got a lot of things to watch. Holy, got to build blades too, you guys. All right. Well, I don't want to take up everyone's time tonight on the 4th. I think we can wrap up the show. We wanted to pop in on Mundo Monday and see how everyone was doing. And I'm glad to see everyone in here is having a great 4th. Chuck says there's a skit, Pulp Fiction. Samuel uses a mind trick, wants his saber back. Robert says, which one is it? Samuel says it's the one with a bad motherfucker on it. Yeah, just like the wallet scene, right? I don't think I saw that either.
Yeah.
Tim says in Fanboys it was Phantom Menace, and oh yeah, it was they were going to see the Phantom Menace,
Oh,
and the
okay.
last line was, "What if it sucks?" That's funny.
Okay, that is.
Yeah, at the time, a lot of people were not happy with the Phantom Menace at the time. A lot of people were super happy too. I mean, it was like a movie where people camped out. People camped out the night before.
Yeah.
I went
Thank you
at
for
like
that.
9 a.m.
I'm
didn't.
a fan, but I can't do that, man. I can't just camp out just for.
I didn't camp out, but I mean, you didn't have to in my area. This is before the time of like today. If a movie comes out on Friday, they let you see it Thursday night at 6 p.m. That wasn't
Yeah.
how it was back then. If the movie came out on Friday, the movie came out on Friday. If you want to see it, you got to go. If you want to see it first, you can go at 9:50 or 10 a.m. whenever they open. But you
Yeah.
can't see it Thursday night. I mean, unless it's some kind of party. They started having those events a little later. Like it was like, at least in my area, it was like maybe for Revenge of the Sith, they did something where they allowed you to come at midnight or something. But I don't even think then. It was probably like for the Marvel movies later. But
I remember
the way
they
it is now,
started
people
doing.
see the movie early.
They started like originally. You were right. It was like Friday night was it. You had to go Friday night. That's when it premiered. And then I remember doing a few like midnight premieres, like Thursday night, midnight. So like it's like Friday
It's officially
morning.
Friday, but
Officially Friday. I remember doing a bunch of those, And now they just like the radio station that the guys that I know, one of my good friends works at a radio station, and that like Tuesday or Wednesday they're giving away tickets for a free showing for Wednesday,
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Funny.
Definitely awesome.
All right. Well, we're going to be back on Mundo Monday, this coming Monday. So drop by here, SpaceWindu channel at around 10 p.m. We usually start about 10:15 on Mundo Monday. And we'll talk about all the latest Star Wars news and Saber news and Saber stuff. Who do you guys think makes the best lightsabers before we go out? Who's your favorite saber makers, and what do you think are the best lightsabers?
SpaceWindu makes the best lightsabers as far as I'm concerned.
I don't make
Right?
many lightsabers though. I have to make the blades. Like, who makes great lightsabers?
That's I don't know. I mean, I can't say who really does, because a lot of the few sabers that I have are all TCS parts, TCSS parts.
Well, I guess your answer's in custom saber shop.
Yeah.
Because like maybe they didn't make the lightsaber, but the custom saber shop makes the best lightsabers, right? Because you're making the parts from all their parts. I think Harris thinks the same thing, right? Harris likes to make.
I'm a fan of TCSS.
Yeah, me too.
And so he will customize custom saber shop parts. And one of the guys I've been following a lot lately on Instagram and YouTube, he was commenting on the show in the show earlier, Solo Sabers. I really love his installs, super clean. Always looking at his pictures on Instagram. I'm kind of jealous. There are a lot of progress he makes on these hilts, and it looks clean as could be. So that's who I'm kind of a fan of right now. I've always liked Vader's Vault, like the way the hilts look and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and I've always
Vault makes nice stuff.
Yeah, and
I
I've always
like his version.
Yeah,
I'm
like
sorry.
the Genesis Custom Sabers always makes something really nice. Like I'm always impressed when we hear Gabe's saber, because Gabe has a send, and when me and Harris are in the same room with Gabe, it's like his saber's so loud. So I really like that aspect of Genesis Custom Sabers. Plus, they look good.
And how about Master Yoda's?
Master Yoda. I have my Master Yoda Graflex, who makes the best Graflexes in my opinion. That's Master Yoda from FX Sabers, and I think a lot of people know that. I am going to make a video on my Master Yoda pretty soon, actually, so that'll post on this channel. But if you want to see the blades, like the blade videos and stuff like that, the products that we make, that's like pixel products, that would be posted on our Civilized Sabers YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed there, you'll definitely want to hit up Civilized Sabers. We make a video for every single blade and every single thing that we make.
And we were talking, and you and I were talking about maybe doing a video. A lot of people are asking us questions about our blades, right, Ant?
Yeah.
And what do you think about doing a show where we just strictly talk about, people can like ask us questions about our blades, specific questions, TriStar, dual star, whatever blade they have questions about, I mean, so I don't want to get into the whole negative thing, but I posted that we're pushing our blades, and some people were kind of nasty and some people were nice, but I think it'd be a great forum for us to answer some questions that way. What do you think?
Yeah, we're going to do that on Civilized Sabers channel. Let's like plan for that. Not this coming week, like today's Monday, so not this coming week, but how about next week? We try to set something up, and we'll be sure to post it in the Facebook group so you guys know, and I'll post it on my Instagram. I'm on SpaceWindu on Instagram. Maybe Harris will post it as well, and we'll come up with some kind of thumbnail to advertise for the show, and we'll pass that around, and then you guys will know when that's going to be. So to get that, subscribe to Civilized Sabers. That's where that one's going to be. I will be announcing it here on the SpaceWindu channel as well in community posts probably. So keep an eye out for those. And Chuck Alvarado says, "Wow, that's tough. Great sabersmiths. Jawa's Junkyard, Coda Custom Sabers.
I gotta throw my boy Davidium in there.
Is that
Will?
Yeah.
Davidium's my man.
Will is awesome. Will was
Will.
on the show a couple of weeks back.
My
We loved
goodness.
having Will. Love seeing his shop.
Amazing work.
Thanks again for showing us
Amazing.
your workshop, Will. Hope to have him back on
Yeah.
again. That was awesome. Oh yeah, there is too many to name. Like I'm following people on Instagram. Their sabers look awesome. Their installs look good. A person I recommend going to when the Civilized Sabers, when people ask us for hilts, which we don't really do too often, is I always send them to Sebastian at Starlight Saber Services. He's who I recommend to. I also try to send people to Jeremy at Solo Sabers. I just always admire the way that they work. So those are a couple that come to mind. But yeah, there is a lot of great installers and sabersmiths out there. It's a good time to be in the saber world.
I really like Solos Holds Kane and Jarrus.
Solos Hold, yeah, they make super high quality stuff. We're building one right now that they gave us, which is called the Dark Star, which is basically the dark saber, and it's like the dark saber style that I love the most. It's a squared off version from the cartoon.
Oh, that's what you had shown us. The I think you did when we were on one time. I think you did show us the saber in
Yeah.
its rare form.
Yeah. It is very, 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 very high quality pieces from Solo's Hold for sure. I love their
Yeah.
quality. Great
They've
quality.
got
And the
some
fact
good
that they will sell you empty hilts is really, really nice. A lot of companies won't do that, so it's pretty cool to offer the empties to people that want to like build their own. You know, put whatever they want in it. That is
Eventually,
pretty
I'd like
rad.
to get the Bad Axe from Custom Genesis.
Is that the curve? That's the curved one, right?
That's a curved one. Yeah.
The Bad Axe.
Yeah.
You want one, Mundo?
That's oh yeah. That's gonna be one of the few curve. I think I'm only gonna have one curve, and I think the Bad Axe would be it. You know,
They're not cheap, you know.
that would be.
It's a lot of money.
Oh, I know. I
Worth
I
every
gotta save
penny.
up for it.
Worth every penny.
I gotta
but they're
save
not
up
cheap.
for it. I think it's what, like eight or something like that.
I don't know. In like NeoPixel form, right? Talking about NeoPixel.
Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah.
just to start off is like 560, and then you go from there. I believe that's what I've seen in because I the other day I was looking at him, and he had a run of Bad X's, and they sold within an hour. He sold out.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think one of my
I don't
buddies
know
bought
how
one
many
of those from that run, Mundo.
Here's another one of our buddies right here, Rich Sangillo. Happy 4th, fellas. Happy 4th, Rich. Good to see you
Hey,
here.
happy 4th, Rich.
Rich makes some nice sabers. I've seen
Yeah.
some of his work lately.
We were
Oh,
actually
yeah.
just wrapping up. Thanks for coming in and wishing us happy holiday at the during the show here. We were just kind of talking about wrapping up the show and coming back next week and talking about doing a stream on Civilized Sabers as well, Civilized Sabers channel, talking about blades and stuff. We got kind of like a lot to talk about with the different, you know, tri-stars, quad stars, pentastars. Some questions have rolled in, so Harris wants to, you know, maybe bring some of those questions into the show, plus also open it up for anyone to ask questions during the show. We'll try to answer them as best we can. So I know those are like kind of complicated products, like understand, you know, with so many strips and so many LEDs and stuff, but the types of LEDs and things like that. We'll try to settle the questions.
I'd like to also let you know, kind of like explain some things about that too, which we'll talk about more in depth as we go along. But everybody's build is different, so it's really hard to pin down to the exact minute of how long time you're going to get, run time. All these things are factors into how your individual saber is built. Correct, Ant?
Yeah, that's right. And since we don't like make the hilts, it's hard to answer those questions. Like that's the same for everybody, but we'll do the best we can with like what we know and what our experience was with our batteries and our, you know,
like
the light meter readings and stuff is like this, like the science of it. The other stuff is like opinion stuff, so we can try to help with that stuff too. But
people were asking some questions about runtime and stuff, and I mean this saber here, this particular saber is an MHS saber. I'll open it up to show you what's in it. You know, it's running a CFX version 2.0. It's active. It just went to sleep mode. It's got a standard TCS bass speaker, an 18650 keep power battery in it. It's got one LED as an accent LED. I'm sorry, two accent LEDs. It's got one connected to the main power when you pull the power key, and one on the blink cycle. And then it's got a standard NeoPixel. Now, right now, I'm running a NeoPixel. This particular NeoPixel is what we call the lamp saver, right, Ant? That's a short.
Short blade.
That's a shorty, and that's a 1-inch blade. And my camera's not the best. My lighting's not the best here, but that's a That's a TriStar, Civilized Saber TriStar CPU chip, not CPU, PCB chip. Is that the correct
PCB.
statement?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'll play with this blade, which is half size, and then I have a 32-inch. And I mean, I charge the Saber, am I turning it on? And am I going about my business and leaving it on? No, I'm not. No. I'm not going to turn it on and put it on the couch and go take a leak. I'm going to turn it off. I'll go take my leak and I'll come back and I'll turn it back on. Right? So, how many times are you going to take a leak before you turn your Saber off and on? So that varies. All these little factors vary into it, I'm just trying to make it easy so people can understand,
Yeah. Now,
But,
is that a Metal Master chassis, Harris?
Is that a what?
Is that a Metal Master chassis that you
No,
have?
this is a 3D printed Shapeways. I forget who makes it. It's kind of modular in the fact that the this section here is one piece, and then the charge port is another piece, and then the bottom speaker holder is a third piece. And it's
Okay, so that's it's a Goth 3D chassis then, right?
It's not a Goth 3D chassis. I forget
It's
who
not a
makes it.
Goth.
It's not a Goth,
Really?
but it's like a Goth. It's a 3D printed. It's 3D
Yeah.
printed. It's by an individual chassis maker. I don't remember. I have to look. But
Excellent.
yeah, I mean, it varies as to how your runtime. Now, if I take this out and I put in a full blade, am I going to lose my time? No, not really, because I run it a lot with the full blade, and then I'll switch back to the half blade. And to be honest with you, it might be 3 weeks since I put a charge into this. I don't have a charge. I don't have a PLI or anything on it, but I mean, it's hard to tell with the blade in, right? But it's got the blade. There's your battery level, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's been like that for like a week now, So, when it gets really low, yeah, I'll go charge it. But I probably got another week left of runtime.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So, I mean, like a lot of people were hammering as to what the TriStar gets. This is a TriStar, and my other one that I run is a TriStar, So, I mean, I'm getting your Saber, you take that same blade, you put it in your Saber, your setup might be different, How old is your battery? All these things are factored into it, But some of the technical questions I'll let Ant answer. Like people were asking us if our strips are special strips to give us more runtime. Is that true, Ant, or no?
I mean, it depends what you consider special. I think they're special in the fact that nobody else uses those strips, those skinny strips. So, I mean, I'll put up a link in that show of where we get the strips and all that stuff, to really answer these questions in detail.
Yeah.
Over on Civilized Sabers channel.
Well, I didn't want to get into a lot of that now. I don't want to get it. I'd rather save that for a whole show.
Yeah. Plus, you'll be able to like advertise it and get some of those people that were asking or interested in asking a question come in, and we could all kind of answer them together. And like I was telling you earlier, if we can get Gabe to be on that show, he's probably got the most experience like using a TriStar out of like anybody. Because he's been using since the beginning, and he uses his TriStar like a lot. So I think like that battery stuff, like he might have answers to that, because he has this type of Saber that like you take the battery out and you could keep replacing it. So for him, instead of a matter of charging a battery, he can kind of just replace the battery. I know a lot of people do that these days as well. So he could give some insight into like, oh, how long do you get on a battery, and then he could swap it out, and then get himself through a con or a convention or a whole day of events or something like that.
Mundo, I was able to look up the information. That chassis in that Saber is made by a company on Etsy called Arms of Ilum. Arms of Ilum makes that chassis, and it cost me with shipping, $32.07.
Damn, that's not bad.
So yeah, it's not bad. You know, it's a 4-inch chassis, and basically what I did to build this, at the top of the chassis uses two 440 threaded rods through it, and then up in this section here is a TCSS chassis disc, and I mounted that chassis disc to the top of this chassis, and in doing so, I was able to lock it in with the male to male threaded piece into my 3-inch extension here. So that's to answer that your question. Arms of Willem makes a nice chassis, and I believe if you go without the, like, some people will forgo the charge port, they'll take the battery out to charge it. In doing so, you don't need the charge port, and also they won't put a kill switch in. They'll just put the battery in, and once the battery goes in, boop, it powers up. Then they take the battery out. I don't like that. I like either a kill switch or a kill key. So that answers your question, I hope. Arms of Willem made this chassis for this.
I've seen those, and I've really considered getting one of those chassis as well.
Pretty nice, pretty nice. I believe when I got this, he printed in 3 different colors. He printed in like a goldish, or a black, or a gray. I went with the gold, and the reason I went with the gold, what I like to do, I like to give it, sometimes I like a chassis a little bit weathered, sometimes I like it pristine. This one I wanted to weather a little bit. So what I did, I ordered it in gold, and then I sprayed it out with silver. I did about 3 or 4 coats of silver and let that rest for about a week or so. Then I come back to it and I hit it with 3 or 4 coats of a gold, a shiny gold spray paint. And then I'll rub it, buff it a lot. And some of the high spots from buffing and rubbing or scratching my fingernails will take away some of the different coats of paint to reveal the gold chassis or the silver layer, you know, so that gives it different variances of weathering on the chassis. So that's how I like to do a chassis. You know.
Wow.
So this is the Etch Saber, and you know, when you do the chassis reveal, it's got a nice decent weathering patina. I don't know how good it's going to come up on there. But, you know, you see some spots.
Oh yeah. That's see and yeah, and see the way you did such a great job. That's why I thought it looked like a Metal Masters, man.
Yeah, it's not Matt. That's a PV, it's like a 3D printed PVC or a plastic.
Yeah, plastic, but I mean, still,
Yeah.
You did such a great paint job that I mean, it was hard to tell.
The way also to make 3D printed look good, sand the crap out of it before you paint it. Get a lot of those print lines out of it by sanding the shit out of it, and then washing it too. Make sure you wash it in between, because sometimes when you sand, the sand particles will get stuck in the little nooks and crannies of the crevices, and then when you paint over them, it becomes a visible little bump, you know. So what I like to do, I like to sand it, wash it, let it dry very well, sand it again tomorrow, wash it. I know Ant does a lot of cleaning between his. Same thing as like when you're cutting lines into stuff on metal, right, Ant? You're using your little files.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see,
all right,
people,
listen, guys, I gotta go. I gotta end the show.
Yep.
If that's okay. Felicia says, I can't wait for Saber Talk UK. Yeah, we're going to do a Saber Talk with UK friends, Absolute Sabers, and Fulcrum and the Force. Look out for that also next week.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to set up a time with those guys. Felicia says, happy 4th. In awe of y'all's saber making skills. Thank you so much. I couldn't pick a favorite if I tried. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, Felicia.
Happy 4th, Felicia.
Happy 4th. Happy 4th, everybody.
Happy holiday.
Happy holiday, and we will see you in the next video. Next Mundo Monday.
Happy 4th.
Next Mundo
Monday.
Thank you guys for doing the show tonight. Thanks for taking
having
time
us.
out of your 4th and being here talking sabers. We'll see you on Monday.
We'll see you. Night, everybody. Window out.